Tell the seed-spilling story, Uncle John.
Men don't need contractions.
All right, are you ready for this?
Yes.
This is where it all comes from. Now, this is the story of Onan, and whether you've heard it or not, I guarantee at some point he has touched you. Back in the old...
Do you need Chris to take his organ out?
No, you don't need to.
Okay.
If you want to, you can.
All right.
Book of Genesis.
Whipping it out right now.
There were Irish people back then? Onan?
Okay. Book of Genesis. Old Judah has two grown sons, Onan and his older brother, And was an evil man given to rank acts of wickedness. Maybe he was angry that they had gone and named him But God didn't like him. So one day God smites Now pay attention. This comes into play. That's how God solves his problems. That's how you know God's a man. Now old Judah, and this is affecting us right now, old Judah runs into Onan and says, "My son, your brother didn't leave any children. God wants you to go in unto thy brother's widow and continue his bloodline. You got to follow our laws, kid. It's all about keeping the tribe's numbers up. We're prehistoric nomads. The tent's over there, impregnate her that she might bear an heir for Now, Onan didn't feel right about this. Onan's brother's not even cold yet. He's got to go shag the widow. It's like a prehistoric white trash sitcom, My Name is But he goes in and he starts doing the Lord's work, and when he realizes this is nuts, it can't be fun for the woman whose name is Tamar. They won't even be his kids, and the law makes no sense. So at the last moment, Onan spills his seed on the ground, creating the rhythm method as we know it. This infuriates God, who I guess likes to watch.
Yes.
And
he invented
God,
premature ejaculation.
He did then, and God smites Onan. And this story, this charming little anecdote that doesn't make its way into too many Bible coloring books, became the church's original reason to say that any kind of non-procreative sex is against the will of God. Now, when you look at it, you see, well, obviously the sin of Onan was that he disobeyed a direct order. But no, the church said the real sin was no baby. And so because of someone getting this story wrong, the church has said that all same-sex relationships are a sin, that birth control is a sin, even if you're poor, you can't be devout unless you're pumping them out, and that masturbation is a sin in the eyes of God. In fact, to this day, the clinical term for touching yourself is onanism, which he didn't even really do. Imagine having that named after you. So, essentially, this is where the whole thing comes from, because someone got the story wrong. And that's where all the seed spilling comes from. Jesus said nothing about it, and again, when God said be fruitful and multiply, there were exactly two people on earth. We seem to have accomplished it.
Right.
Here endeth the lesson.
Of course, and the story about an earth and earth.
The only thing I got out of that whole story is, what if Tea Party leader Kathy Durr had married
Erder.
I say to the Republican leadership,
Stop
take
being
off your lace
noodleback
panties.
and spill your seed on the ground.
Stop being noodleback.
I'm Kathy Durr.
You can't spill your seed on the ground if you're wearing lace panties.
I'm telling you, I know it's a long, silly story, but it's from reading one Bible story wrong.
Yeah.
It was probably only written to be a metaphor in the first place that gives Rick Santorum and these other guys the right to deny women contraceptive care.
Yep. All right, let's go to
They
Cindy.
are not the Christians.
Cindy in Michigan, you're on the Stephanie Miller Show. Hi, Cindy.
Hi, all. You know, I'm Catholic, and I know that the bishops are pretty inconsistent.
Yep.
Because I haven't heard if Viagra for single men or married men who want to pursue outside interest, if that's covered under their plan.
Of course.
And they frown on, you know.
Of course, they don't ask those
marriage.
questions, because that's someone's privacy, for God's sake.
Yes,
they don't ask men those questions.
It's about right.
What you need the little blue pills for?
Doesn't really have the same medical purpose for men that it would have for women.
Kind of the opposite, actually.
That's between a man and his doctor. You don't get the government doesn't get involved in that. What's your point? You see what we did there?
Yeah.
See what I did there?
Turn it around on her.
See what it?
Yeah.
But you know what? It's really sad because it's another example of how the church is marginalizing itself into extinction. And this is why a lot of sane Catholics I know are really embarrassed that eventually they're going to be part of a third world church.
And most Catholic women are on birth control.
Yes, I said that earlier. 98%, in fact. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, Chris Matthews pointed that out the other day. There are no, 12 kid families anymore.
Right.
If you look on the
There are
pews.
no-
Last one is the Santorum family.
What are we getting here?
No more Bobby Kennedy with 12 kids showing up anymore. Catholics don't even follow it. So again, the only people who are saying they're persecuted are people who want to say they're persecuted. It's a fetish for these people. They're not being persecuted at all. They agree with what Obama's saying in principle. They're just putting up a fight because they have to fight about something. Because guess what? The economy, not the bleak economy we planned on running on. And this is all part of Obama's campaign. I don't know if it's David Plouffe took a break from sending us all emails to craft this, but they have in 1 week managed to shift the entire debate from the economy back back to the social issue conservatives to paint Mitt Romney into a right-wing corner so he can never get independent
And they
citizenship.
have, frankly,
just in time for the Santorum surge.
Yeah,
right.
And they frankly have broken the number one commandment, John, and that is do not piss off Congresswoman Barbara Lee.
Yeah. This latest ruling on women's access to reproductive health care, family planning, has been absolutely politicized in this, what I call it, ongoing war against women.
Against women, that's right. That's right. That's right. It's Barbara Lee's world. We just live in it.
Yep.
Representative Anita Lowy, a Democrat of New York.
My colleagues and I stand in solidarity with American women who have waited decades for equity in contraceptive coverage.
And now I wish we had a jingle that said, The Mary in Long Island Show.
Oh, Mary Long Island.
Hi, Mary.
Guys. Oh, thank God, John.
Mary.
Thank you, John, for being John Bugle saying. Thank you so much. Listen,
Thank you for your Fugle saying this.
Yeah, I'm insist. I think we should get a million woman march on Washington, and I'm not kidding. Huge support, because it has to be big. You can't have like a 10,000 because the right wing will gin up a crowd to be there. But
I'll bring my dusty, never touched by a sperm eggs. Why not?
Seriously.
I'll donate them to the cause.
God knows we tried,
Shush.
Steph.
No, but seriously, I know a lot of women would be, in this category, and we don't. I just sent the White House a tweet. Believe it or not, yeah, they're on Twitter, not to cave on this. Now, of course, they probably will, or at least they'll make some kind of compromise. Which, I don't know what it is yet, but I'm nervous about it. I don't understand why they listen so. It's their default to listen to the noise from the right. Even with Senator Casey and the Vice President, John Kerry. I mean, please.
Yeah, what's the point of Joe Manchin? He was like, this is not only unfair, it's un-American. It's
He's not a Democrat.
Oh, please.
He is. Now, if these Catholic institutions, not the church, but hospitals, universities, and so on, if they're going to be part of the American community, American commercial community, let's say, they're going to follow the law, period, end of story. I don't want to hear about, everybody can have objections. I mean, the Muslim community can have objections to something. I mean, come on, there's just so much of religious rights that we...
Well, let's bring up the fact that this Pope, Pope Benedict, and the previous Pope, John Paul, were both 100% opposed to the Iraq War. And I didn't hear any Catholics complaining about their tax dollars going to fund an illegal, immoral war that goes against everything Christ talked about. Jesus didn't say, forgive us our trespasses as we trespass against those we think might trespass against us.
Yes, at some later point.
Yeah, well, John understands spirituality as opposed to religionists.
Yeah, well, you haven't been on the road with him, but okay. All right, Mary. Oh, John, I kid.
That's okay. No, I don't claim to be a devout pristine. I'm a heathen. I'm a sinner. I love it. I'm a sinner who hates hypocrites.
It's the whole point of the road.
I'll take an honest sinner over a pious hypocrite any day of the week.
One last one before we break. Joe in Long Beach. Hi, Joe. Welcome. Hello, Joe.
Good morning, Steph.
Hi.
Hey, I got to believe that this is just a temporary issue that's going to go away real soon. I mean, Big Pharma has got to be quaking in their boots to know that a huge part of their business is to go away if the Republicans get their way.
And by the way, a huge percentage of men, I imagine, quaking in their boots at the thought of being yes.
Absolutely correct. And look, Stephanie, I haven't heard anybody make the point that for a lot of people, taking contraception is a medical issue.
That's right.
As we all know.
Yes, endometriosis. There's all kinds of Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, look at when Rick Santorum's wife aborted. I mean, when she miscarried, and then later on they had another child with medical problems. I think there's a lot of people that would want to avoid those things happening, and contraception is a way.
Yep, exactly.
And she didn't miscarry. She delivered a child.
Yeah, and by the way, that's not, we were talking about this in terms of the female vote. Of course, you were talking about how smart it is politically, but am I right? Is it not also the male vote? Really?
Yes, it absolutely is.
Do a lot of guys want women to have no access to birth control?
Exactly. And you know what? But I mean, look, this actually really affects maybe 12 people in all of America. It's a political football, and we all know it. But here's what I wish the president would say, or someone in the Democratic Party would say, if they would just say to the Catholic Church, hey, here's the deal. Since you don't pay any taxes, listen up for a second. How about you comply with the law, make it available, tell your flock to not ever use it, and see how many obey you.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's like I always made the joke about the early pregnancy test commercials where the guys always look so happy.
That's
please.
great.
You're kidding? Really?
Please.
Wow.
No one that's going to the store to get an EPT
Yeah.
is happy. It's pink, whatever color it's supposed to be.
We didn't have those commercials where I grew up. It was like, why did you do this, Gina? You're so stupid.
Yeah. Well, what the?
This is your fault. This is your fault.
Slut.
I'm taking you on Maury. It's not mine.
46 minutes after the hour. Right back. More Fridays with Bugles thing on the Stephanie Miller Show.
Are you thinking what I'm thinking?
All the time, bitch.
Good.
It's the Stephanie Miller Show.
This is Seattle's Progressive Talk, AM 1090. Listen live, anywhere, anytime at am1090seattle.com.